Cool. Ugh. Happy Star Wars Day!
May the 4th be with you.
And that's how we're going to start this. This is a special episode strictly for May 4th for Star Wars. If you saw our science fiction movie episode, it was our number one. We all agree that Star Wars is the greatest science fiction, series of all time.
Great science fiction
Asterisk?
movie.
Maybe?
Asterisk.
Yeah, there's some
caveats.
things that we
There's a
should...
few caveats in them.
Yeah,
I
but
like the universe just in itself.
Yeah,
Video games,
but yeah,
novels,
but
movies,
all of it. But we can agree that Star Wars is great.
Oh, yes.
The lore of Star Wars.
the lore is
that's my
great.
thing. I
So,
just plain need it.
The props, the spaceships.
Models.
Of course, yes, none of us were allowed to see it in theaters. None of us.
I was.
Not the originally.
Oh, the
original.
No,
the original trilogy.
The good stuff.
The good.
You never got to see the original.
goods.
I mean, I know the first ones I got to see were in the VHS box sets.
Yep.
And it was like, and that was
Still
what
got
I had.
mine.
That's how I saw the first. That's
Yeah,
how I
CBS
saw
box
it.
ones.
I got
The
mine.
little black
and
one.
then
Of them, one was Vader. One was.
That's the new one. I had the old one had like
the
stars
movie,
and stuff on
the
it.
cover,
It had like
looked like a poster.
quotes.
Wow, that's before
Yeah.
mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because all I got is the fucking trilogy they came out with.
No, like
Like
special
box sets.
edition.
So. No, it didn't have the extra stuff. It was
Oh,
just the original like VHS.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I forget now.
Eh.
Man. But that's like the very first ones I've ever seen. And then I remember from there, God, you just like. I think everybody I've ever talked to that when they first saw Star Wars, they started trying to find everything they could about Star Wars.
Oh, Star Wars is so good. I remember I had an argument in school for 3 days. I think it was about lightsabers, and like eventually the teacher took a day out of class to play Star Wars, so me and this other kid will stop arguing about it. It's like, well, yes, best day in school ever.
That's the thing. Like, the very first thing you did as a kid was after seeing Star Wars. First thing you did was like you picked up something and you were like Star Wars, and it was like lightsaber, and it was if you had a buddy there, it was like I know in my house it was broomsticks. It was broomsticks, and I mean we would beat the shit out of the broomstick, but we made the noise the whole time.
Oh yeah,
so
you're supposed
they
to.
were great.
What was it? I think it was Hayden Christensen, like Mannequin Skywalker himself. Like whenever they first gave him his lightsaber, and they were lightsaber fighting, he literally was making the noise. They were like, cut! Stop making the noise.
Yeah,
we make the noise for you.
I mean that's just what
That's what you do.
It's just it's a part of culture. I mean it is.
Yeah, like I don't know how much the camera picks up, but like right over here behind me,
they don't see it.
There's an entire shelf of
they do.
like an entire bookshelf full of Star Wars stuff. Star Wars is the second most prominent thing in the nerd cave. Ghostbusters takes up most of the room. Star Wars takes up the second most. Jockeying for third, I think, is Power Rangers or Scooby-Doo.
No, God knows. Like
Your little
Ninja
turtle
Turtles.
shelf, too.
Turtles are everywhere.
Yeah, there are
I
turtles.
see turtles everywhere.
That is true. There are a lot of turtles.
Which there's nothing wrong with.
Oh, absolutely not. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about the wars.
It's the wars. May 4th.
Wars. Like I
Yes,
love Star Wars. I made a Rebel Legion approved Han Solo costume. Love Star Wars.
Oh, she's special.
Hand embroidered the blood stripes. Just me with an embroidery hoop all night, sitting up watching Star Wars embroidering.
This guy has a girlfriend, a fiance.
Fiance.
Actually.
That's your fiance.
Yeah.
So,
Your hair looks awesome, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
The Boba Fett helmet really does wonders for you.
Oh well. That's why you never see Boba Fett because of that.
Yeah.
It's all the hair.
Yeah.
Boba Fett actually, I was reading one of the books, and Boba Fett says he's very uncomfortable when he's not in his armor. Because, like, all the extra, like, the hearing and the rangefinders and all the extra junk, the sensory...
When you take an Australian and you put him in a suit of armor, when he's away from the sun...
Whoa, New Zealander.
Same difference.
And besides, like, that's...
Same accent.
That's new Boba Fett. I'm talking about old Boba Fett, like Jeremy Bullock Boba Fett.
And mind you, he's also getting retconned again.
Yeah, he is.
So,
Again.
Again.
Just Lucas, stop.
Well, you gotta think.
Well, it's not Lucas anymore.
Hey, he can
No, he can't.
Well,
he's got a mouse. You can do whatever you want to.
Like,
But
he's getting a creative consultant.
That's what I said. I thought he was a creative consultant, but he's like
a creative
the mastermind
consultant.
behind
No,
it.
yeah, he don't care.
He should care.
He doesn't care.
I care.
I don't want him to care anymore after episodes 1, 2, and 3.
But was it?
Like,
Well, I mean, before
I didn't mind it that bad.
Well, they had to make up the history of Boba Fett. So that was the first retcon, because who would have ever guessed that a character that didn't have that much screen time would actually become one of the more popular characters of the universe.
Because he's freaking Boba Fett. He's awesome.
Right.
Yeah, but no one at the time, you were just like, he's just a background guy.
Yeah.
So then they were like, okay, oh crap, he's popular.
For the Christmas special.
Oh, here we go.
Oh yeah, Christmas. You know, I actually saw somebody do the armor from the Christmas special, like the
Wow.
pastel yellows and blues. It's pretty
Nice.
terrible looking in real
Yeah,
life.
well,
We'll call it the prototype armor.
Yeah.
But-
I really like the Ralph McQuarrie armor, the white armor.
Yeah.
That looked really cool. I thought.
but I mean, it's just.
We're not even talking about the movies yet. We're still just like
Yeah,
nerding
well, I mean,
out
it's
about
just
it.
well, I had talk about movies. It's just just a random
Oh.
discussion of Star Wars.
But like originally, what was it like? His backstory in the books was that he was it was like some like spacer that killed
farmer.
some dude. Yeah.
It was a
Was it Conquer Dawn or?
I don't even
forgot the
know.
name of the planet.
Y'all know way more shit than I do about Star
Like
Wars.
yeah, like he
I'm gonna let y'all know that right away.
step back, play head.
Yeah, that's right. I'm just gonna be like,
let the
I'm just gonna be
professionals step
like,
up.
Darth Vader was a black guy.
And what happens when they remove Vader's helmet? They show him as a crusty old white guy, saying that deep down inside we all want to be white. There's a new truth. Sit down.
That's horseshit.
Justification.
Well, Lando Calrissian.
He flew the Millennium Falcon. Obviously, we can also quote things that quote Star Wars, or talk about Star Wars. So it's deeply ingrained within pop culture.
I was gonna say it's in everything.
Well, like I have this long spiel I like to go on about how the word, like one word, can literally change the entire fate of the planet.
Yeah.
Essentially, like George Lucas went to whoever, I don't remember
Yeah.
who, wanted to make a Flash Gordon movie. They told him no. 2 letters, 1 word, no. He's like, fine, I'm gonna make my own space movie.
Yeah, and it
And-
is.
Like, imagine if somebody would have said, yeah,
Yeah.
you can make a Flash Gordon movie. He would have made a decent Flash Gordon movie. It wouldn't have been
Well,
Flash.
Well,
But
that's
like,
that's all different.
like,
ballgame.
exactly.
But the thing is,
like somebody telling you no,
yeah,
like made Star, and it blows my mind because I watched the Barbie. There's a Barbie
Yeah.
web series that makes Star Wars references. Barbie.
why are you watching the Barbie web series?
Tiffany watched it.
Why are you dropping that on
Yeah.
these people?
Tiffany watched it. I'm just saying,
Tiffany
like
watched
that is the reach of Star Wars. That's even got references in Barbie. What Hop, that Easter Bunny movie?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
it has Star Wars
There's
references.
always Star Wars.
Well,
Yeah,
Star
yeah,
Wars
Star
is
Wars.
it's in pop culture. Like,
Yeah, it is.
It's going to be
Well, the
permanently
thing is,
ingrained there.
Deeply ingrained. Yeah.
Well, what's it? You see more of the Force jokes everywhere.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
it's always like you always see the little kid or someone doing this.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Like, it's beautiful though.
I
that
mean-
Star Wars is everywhere.
Yeah.
It's an amazing thing.
It's like it is a great.
I love it.
Yeah, it's a great franchise. In a certain I will argue the new trilogy has its special place.
I like it.
Because I look at it as strictly a money making and getting it out there.
See,
type
yeah, like
Yeah.
for you when you look
I
at
think
it,
money.
you don't know that much about Star Wars, and you look at it from
I
marketing.
look
Yeah,
at franchising.
I look at it from what
Well, all the stuff they
storytelling.
retconned?
Yeah.
Awesome.
But see,
stuff.
my thing
And,
is,
like,
yeah. But I see,
uh,
yes, you take the original and you take the new, and the original is way better.
so much better.
But when you look at the new and you go, well, they made money.
That's
They made money enough where now we're going to have a third trilogy that probably would not have done that if they wasn't there. I mean, you can argue that point that it made it kind of relevant again. Where else would we have had the Clone Wars, the cartoon and the CGI?
I was about to say the
Which is-
animated, the Genndy Tartakovsky animated Clone Wars was awesome.
Yeah.
CGI,
Shorts.
yeah, I got both seasons on DVD.
And the
It's
CGI is
great.
not bad either. I mean,
So
it's-
I haven't watched
From
much
what I
of the
watched,
CGI
I
series.
will
so.
say though, I hate how they retconned the whole Darth Maul thing and
Oh,
brought it back.
yeah.
Or the, I know there was a novel where before that they had mentioned
Yeah,
where
well-
Obi-Wan had encountered Maul again. And he had those
Yeah, but that's
spider
what it is,
I hate that though because he cut him in half. He fell down a very deep
Yeah, his
pit.
ass should be dead.
Yeah, like I get that
Yeah.
a lightsaber cauterizes, but
Yeah.
it doesn't cauterize all your guts. Like
Yeah.
when you've been sliced in two, not even
Yeah, but
in the middle.
It's like, bro, you lost all your
thing is-
internal organs.
yeah,
and
like
shit.
everything
Let's go.
down. So like
Right.
obviously you're not gonna bleed out. But
Yeah.
like then you fall, so it's like, oh no, I'm in half. Oh, then you land. Like I don't care what force powers you got, you're not gonna stay alive long enough for some random hillbilly to come
Yeah.
along sweeping and go, oh, what? Oh,
I got a Darth Maul down here. Let me go ahead and haul his ass
let
out.
me just screw some legs to him here. Like,
well, but I'm sure we're missing a lot of fiction just from the books.
Well, I know what happens.
Because I've not read,
in the show what happened.
I can honestly say I've never read a book. from Star Wars.
I was about to say, ever a book ever?
No, I read a few.
I can help you out on that.
I've never read Star Wars. I've never read Star Wars books, like anything about Star Wars.
I've read a
It's good
few,
stuff.
not a lot, but a few. I've had friends that have read extensive.
I love the Shadows of the Empire
I feel
stuff,
like-
the Thrawn
Yeah,
trilogy.
Thrawn
But I feel like
Yeah.
that answers a lot of questions.
But I don't think it helps with the
What would
Darth Maul. Like, to me, I don't think there's a satisfactory story they could tell that would make me believe that Maul survived that.
Yeah. And the show was like,
But-
when he had fell,
okay.
like, he went to some, like, I forgot exactly what happened. He was, like, on a trash.
Yeah.
Like, something happened where he got picked up. He went to, like, this planet where he met, like, those 3 witch sisters or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Wait, the Witches of Dathomir or
Yeah,
something?
and they hooked him off and they gave him, like,
That's
those
stupid.
stupid things.
Yeah.
And then he meets up with his brother, was Savage Opress.
Savage,
And then,
But the thing is,
Yeah.
well, okay, but you still, and I'm sorry, I have to look at it like, even though like retconning y'all think is bad and all that, I still look at it as one thing. It's a money-making franchise. If you see
Spaceballs.
Darth
Merchandising.
Maul,
There's a corner there. But put your nose in it. Come back when
like,
we're done talking.
Darth Maul
Done
is
with
a
you.
money, like everybody, like, look,
It's a badass
Like, people-
concept.
yeah,
It looks
oh,
awesome.
like everybody
He looks
read-
awesome. He had a double-ended lightsaber. Like, it's like, what was
Well,
that?
the
Like,
thing
I never
was-
thought about taping two together.
But see,
the
that's the thing.
choreography was amazing.
Yeah, that's the thing, but you, no matter who you
Ray
talk to,
Park is an awesome
Look,
actor.
You do no
Look,
wrong.
look, so
None.
the
Not
one
even
thing you
Toad.
can say,
Yeah,
the one
I
thing
like
you can
Toad.
say, you know, if you don't like the new trilogy, the one thing everybody agrees on is like, we got Darth Maul out of it. Like, everybody likes Darth Maul.
I'm big Liam Neeson and Ewan McGregor fan too.
Yeah.
Thought
Well-
they played their characters great.
You are the chosen one.
Or whatever that fucking line was that just was.
You can't win. I have
Yeah.
the high ground from 5 feet
Yeah,
above you.
exactly.
Even though we're
So-
doing 30-foot flips.
Yeah,
it
so,
worked.
Come on.
Oh, come on.
Dismembered
That's
it.
stupid.
Yeah.
Dismembered it.
That's stupid. No, I will say this, and I've gotten a lot of flack for this
Yeah.
opinion
Yeah.
over the past few years.
Yeah.
My favorite of the new trilogy
Yeah.
is Episode 1.
Kills the pod racers.
No, not even the pod racing. In fact, if I had my
If you
tuthers,
say Jar Jar, I will hit you.
if I had my tuthers, I'd cut out the pod racing. I'd cut out Jar Jar. What it'd be is that
I would defend the Jar Jar.
it doesn't even need to be a part of the rest of the Star Wars
It's
like
the last 20
saga.
minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be a part of the Star Wars saga. It's a standalone Star Wars film. It's literally just a swashbuckling Jedi adventure. Like, look, some
Okay.
Jedis are solving some problems. This
Okay.
is fun. It doesn't have to do
Alright,
with anything
wait.
else.
Now, Robert's heard this theory. Okay, Robert's heard this theory, and the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Not the original, but the new trilogy. I have a theory, and it all does hinder like with the way the movies come out and all that. The first movie was made to hook kids. Look at how the movie's done. You have pod racers. You have a child, Anakin. You have, and it's all saying like, oh, look, little kids can go to this movie. Like, oh, look, I got a toy I can go get because Jar Jar's awesome because I'm a kid and I don't know any better. And there's a little Anakin and he's a kid like me. And look at all the cool stuff he's doing. So then we have that. Then the second movie, which what's the name of the second one?
Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, Attack of the Clones. Well, then that becomes then that goes back to my theory then, because then you take those kids that are the preteens that don't really know any better. They're just like, this is great because man, I have a movie that I can.
Hey, at least they
relate
got
to.
into the wars though.
Yeah, and then the third one
We'll
is
watch
then the
good
third.
movies then.
Yeah, then the third one is these little preteens are finally like 18-year-olds,
And that was the darkest of all.
yeah,
things.
that's what I mean. Then you get to your
Like, the
goth
kids are
age.
grown up.
Yeah, you get to
The
your goth
goth
age of all the people. They're like, man, I
But
don't
it was
care
a
about this.
PG-13 Star Wars film though. It was weird because Anakin's burning ass.
Yeah.
That was.
So I think it was
Yeah,
all.
that's pretty graphic though.
It was.
Look,
Like,
look, the movies-
don't get me started on the rating system.
Look, the original
Yeah.
movie. Look, the new trilogy is all money making. That's all it was. I will agree, and it's brilliant because it kept the franchise at least being talked about for years and years and years.
Franchise still being talked
I agree with
about.
you.
It is. I think it's a money. I think it's a money thing. It was brilliant just in that aspect because without
Well, you're getting technical because if you come down to it with any situation, money
money
will always
talks.
be at the root.
I mean,
of
it's like I
everything.
said though. These three,
Yeah.
like the new three didn't get made, we would not have these coming up.
And I'm still optimistic about these upcoming
Oh, yeah,
trilogy.
me too.
Like
Look.
people can say what they want. I think Abrams is a good director.
Disney can do no wrong.
Yeah, they got the original.
Disney
cast
knows
back.
what. Well,
So,
I say Disney can do no wrong, but then we had what was it the what's the Mars one?
John Carter Mars.
Yeah,
Not that
then we
good.
got that.
big
But I
failure.
I really liked Lone Ranger. I'm not gonna lie. I
Yeah.
liked that movie a lot.
Wow.
It
I'm one of
bad.
4 people in the world.
Yeah,
I
it
really
was-
liked
it's
it.
not
Pirates of
bad.
the Caribbean.
It
Pirates-
actually,
Yeah.
that's what I thought going in, but it wasn't as
No, it's
Pirates
not
of the
bad.
Caribbean
No.
as I thought it would be, and also Johnny Depp wasn't as racist as an Indian as I thought he would be. So altogether,
Yeah.
like it was, but I wasn't going in expecting like seriousness either. I knew
As
it was
long as you
gonna
don't
be silly.
expect it.
Yeah, like it was great. It was awesome. Expect the unexpected.
Yeah, and that's what I think. But like you said, you give Disney a big franchise, like Star Trek. Well, not Star Trek. But they'll own Star Trek for long, I'm sure.
Why?
But you give them Star Wars, like Star Wars, they're gonna do a lot of big stuff for Star Wars. So, hey, they own Marvel now. So.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of Marvel, they got Blade, Punisher. Who else?
Hey,
Oh, this is Star-
it's Star Wars. This is the wars. This is the wars, sir. You stay on
Sorry,
topic.
I got excited about
I will
getting it back.
I will force smack you.
But yeah, you know,
Dark side
but
points.
it's oh god.
Knock it down.
Yeah, see that's another.
What up?
Well, that's the thing. You know, you had fucking RPGs made after that.
Oh,
You
yeah.
had video games made after
Of course.
soundtrack. You know, you have the one the scroller now, which is every knockoff of Star Wars or any kind of science fiction movie
Wait,
uses that scroll.
Dude, the first Power Rangers movie
Yeah.
uses that
Yeah, the
scroll
scroll.
at the beginning.
Like
of
that
it.
is a like when you see that the first thing
Oh,
you
yeah.
think is like oh, Star Wars. You ripped it off.
I even knew this. Back to Star Wars.
Yeah, back to Star Wars. Not gonna start with Power Rangers.
Yeah,
I'll talk about the Rangers now.
it's a different ball game.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Like my favorite Star Wars movie though is Episode 4. It's the first
Yeah,
one. It's the
Star
one that
Wars.
set
Yeah, it's the
everything in
original.
motion.
Yeah.
Like it is my favorite. It's also the one where
Yeah.
Lucas did the most himself with the
Yeah.
least. Like everything I like about that movie,
Most of the least.
I've read the like really thick like coffee
Yeah.
table book of because of the size of a coffee table making
Yeah.
Star Wars and it has like all kinds of interviews and like paperwork and documentations from before the
Yeah.
movie came out. So it's like legit.
Yeah.
This is how we did it stuff.
Yeah.
And like everything I like about the movie, it seems like it's something that Lucas
Yeah.
had to put in or do because of time or budget constraints. Like everything I love is everything he hates.
Well, it's like we were talking about though, like with that movie. The reason I like it more than anything was because of actually what I found out like a month or two ago. Like actually got into it was how the reason why the stormtroopers were incompetent. Incontinent. They were that too.
But there's been
well,
so
I
many.
should-
There's so many like theories on that though.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
are.
but-
But,
And none of them are actually like
This-
proven canon.
well,
This was pretty fucking
this one,
close.
yeah, I was about to say I won't lie. His is good. Like I agree that I like.
It's not even my theory, but
I don't like the misaligned crystals theory, which for
I
anybody
don't like
watching
that
this
either.
doesn't know it.
Yeah.
Like supposedly the stormtroopers on the station
Got a bad
got
batch.
got
Retarded.
a bad batch of
they were the
guns.
retarded stormtroopers.
They got a bad batch of guns where the focusing or aiming crystals like
Yeah.
misaligned slightly. So when they shot, like what would be a perfect shot, it's like pew, off to the side.
But
But
my
the
theory.
the heroes get it. We're gonna get to your
My
theory. I'm
theory-
still covering other theories.
Which one?
Well, I'm not done still talking about the first theory.
The crystal theory.
The crystal theory doesn't hold up though, because like Luke and Han and them get their blasters too, and they're pew 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 pew.
Well,
dead on.
maybe they're just bad shots.
Well,
that actually corrects
Well,
their bad
they were
shots.
out of practice. Oh,
Well,
okay,
yeah.
so long.
Another thing. It was in
Aim from the hip.
the Death Star book, I believe it was.
Oh God.
It's a good book. It talks about like some stormtroopers on the Death Star, like how all of them have just been stuck on that Death Star for like months at a time, and like every single one of them, like half of them were rookies, and they all just wanted
Oh, I
to.
didn't touch it.
No, watch your leg.
They all
It's
just
like you
wanted
start
to.
bouncing.
They all just wanted some action. So like,
Yeah.
like we're gonna shoot things. Pew 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 pew.
Yeah.
So like,
But
I mean,
still.
that one's more plausible than the misaligned crystal thing, because
Yeah.
it's like rookies, trigger happy, they're bored, they're just
Yeah,
shooting stuff. We get to shoot things. We get to shoot things. Yeah. But in my opinion, the one that you
theory-
brought up
yes.
is actually the
The
best
theory
one.
that it's an all.
That's
It's
the one
all.
that I'd go with this too.
It's
though.
all
Yeah,
planned.
yeah.
It was all made. They were made to miss, and
Oh,
it was
yeah.
all just so they could get away, so they could lead them to the planet.
It was too easy. You call that easy?
Exactly.
Vader also implied it too.
Yeah,
It's
no,
all applied.
he said something like they got away like
The master plan.
Yeah, it's all part of the plan, like the tracking devices installed, like
Yeah.
all that, like it was
It makes,
planned.
it makes perfect sense.
And also, if
except
you go-
for why the guy hit his head when he was coming.
oh yeah,
Like he went ahead, he
Just
killed
don't-
Obi-Wan. He did what he wanted.
Yeah,
to
he's
do.
like,
let the rest
go.
just show
it's
them.
all, yeah, it's all good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like, but that doesn't explain stormtroopers later on.
Yeah.
But in that
now.
movie, I'm talking about that movie, my favorite movie,
well,
like that one.
the only reason that argument doesn't hold up later
Yeah.
is Ewoks.
Well, that
Because it just implies that
Well, I mean,
Ewoks are
it-
just
also
far superior fighters.
Savage little
than-
bastards.
Yeah,
sure they are, but no, like even in like Cloud City, just pew, ta,
Yeah.
ta, 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 ta.
Yeah.
There's probably also some other theory where like these were some of the clones before conscripts got in there, and they were like a bad batch of clones. Maybe.
Yeah, I think there was
I just
that
pulled
also.
out.
Also,
Yeah.
I think there's
It's
another
clones,
theory
so
that
come
it's
on.
because they aren't clones; they are conscripts, so they're just
Yeah.
not as good.
Yeah.
But
I just,
the- I lost my train of thought.
Yeah.
But no, like the Obi-Wan Kenobi though even says in the beginning like these shots are far too precise.
Yeah, exactly.
Like only Imperial Stormtroopers are only Imperial Stormtroopers are so precise.
Yeah.
Although unfortunately that lines up with this new theory about why Stormtroopers suck. It also blows my theory that Obi-Wan Kenobi is a mean old drunk out of the water.
You just want to believe he's a mean old drunk.
I do. Like look at it. Look.
He's a strange old wizard.
Let me lay out the mean old drunk theory for you in case I haven't
Maybe he's
already.
on like space drugs or maybe
No,
he's not
like-
drunk. Maybe he's just on like
he
heroin or something.
Death sticks.
Yeah, like he wastes using like Jedi mind trick on a guy to not sell him best thing. He just said no, thank you. Like no, let me start doing. And like goes into bars, drinking, cutting people's limbs off, just left and right. That and like everything he told Luke was a lie. He killed your father. He is your father. Could have told me I had a sister too.
He was trying to spare him from
Yeah, but
Fuck.
then you wouldn't have got that great like sister love though. I mean,
Oh yeah. Oh.
Yeah, because kill it because they kissed because they fucked. Then I mean that's
You think
that's
so?
How, that's how it
You
happens.
think so?
I mean, yeah, because when you kiss something, you just fuck it. I mean that's what happens.
Well,
I was gonna say I don't know what clubs you're going to, but
All the good clubs, evidently.
Apparently.
That's right.
but no, like also what was it? Talking about the sister. Like, oh, it was all true from a certain point of view. It's like, no, you're just a mean old drunk. You didn't.
Yeah.
Like, it just like, come on. But
You
you
just
know,
want him to be an angry old man.
I think it'd be hilarious. It's like if you'd cast Randy as Obi-Wan.
I like
Wes
those
Randy.
Well,
Me too. I liked him, but mean old drunk. It's a funny theory.
meh. Yeah, well, that's the best part.
Dude's been living out in the desert
Yeah,
by
yeah.
himself for a
Oh,
long
Told you,
time.
man, he's like on the
He's
go.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I'm gonna hide from the Empire, so I'm just
Yeah.
gonna change my first name, not my last.
Those Ben Kenobi.
Ben
Ben
Kenobi.
Ben Kenobi, not Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Just a strange old hermit wizard.
Yeah. It's just,
Live out down the Dune Sea.
Oh,
it's so
God.
bizarre. So much doesn't line up with it.
But that's the thing about retconning. So
Yeah.
Well, it has its point. It has. But
Retconning. Also, I find it amusing though that if you'll notice that Obi-Wan wears like the brown robe
Yeah.
and crap, and like Yoda wears something similar,
they all wear something similar.
but like then that becomes de facto Jedi
Garb.
uniform.
Yeah.
Yeah, where if you'll notice, like when they're going through Mos Eisley, there's quite a few people that are dressed very similar to that. It's just desert dweller
Yeah.
like garb. And it's just like, okay. So we decided to make that.
Well.
Because if so, that makes it even worse. Hey, I'm going to live right next to the Darth Vader's
That's right.
brother, and I'm going to only change my first name, not my last, and I'm still going to dress in my Jedi uniform. Because what could go wrong?
But was it? Isn't like I don't know.
well, Tatooine was an outer world though, and
Oh,
like
yeah.
it wasn't like other than when some serious shit was going down.
Oh,
like,
yeah, it was
Star
hot-
Wars.
hot space.
Yeah, Imperials, they weren't really there that much.
Did
like
they
that.
change it though? Like in the reissues at the very end when they show all the
editions.
special editions with the extended scenes and change like we Ewoks.
Hey, special edition.
But don't they show like I've not seen them in forever?
Hmm.
But at the very end, don't they change like what Yoda and Obi-Wan and all them to wearing at the very end when they're all ghosts?
They
No,
I
changed
thought
it all.
they changed it.
They changed. Hayden Christensen's or he's there now. And so,
Yeah, that's what I mean. I thought they changed
That's
like
so
they're not, it's like
Stupid.
Yoda was in all white or something. I thought.
No, it didn't. I don't think it.
I think they just changed
They-
Anakin
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they just changed like heads
Oh, okay.
or his head.
because they kept Alec Guinness
Yeah,
instead of Ewan McGregor.
which no, just doesn't
No.
make sense. No.
Just so fucking
Frankenstein.
Yeah.
No.
I hated that part.
Everybody did. Don't worry.
I think no. I mean, like you could like put out that entire movie for me and then lay it out, and I can like dissect every piece. I think with episode 6, or excuse me, episode 3, what really bothered me was that part.
The no.
The
No.
because it was so over the top.
Oh,
It was kinda-
Yeah, especially considering
Other than-
how subdued Anakin's
Yeah.
been like for the rest
Yeah.
of those.
I'll bring up
two movies.
another one. The whole Luke and Leia birth thing, where the
Yeah.
robot was like,
Oh yeah.
takes it out, and she's like, Luke, Leia, Dad.
Well, yeah,
And
like
it's
in the
like,
first,
damn, bitch, like,
in episode 4, he's like, I barely remember my mom. Like, she died when I was very young. Yeah, 2 seconds old.
yeah, Leia's
How
got
do you-
good memory.
Yeah.
How do you remember? Yeah,
Yeah.
that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah. Well,
It's
we've not even touched the biggest elephant in the room though. The Han Solo.
So who shot first?
Yeah.
I was about to say everyone
If
talks
anybody's
about
out there
that.
watching and there's true
Everybody-
stars from there,
everybody knows.
Yeah, I mean,
Hotshot
that's
Chris.
Hotshot only. Like they really.
There's only one yet. Guido.
Yeah.
Did you say Guido?
It's Guido. It's Guido. Yeah. It's Guido to me.
Guido's
Guido,
better. Guido.
what is the situation here? Han, let's go.
Yeah, but clearly,
No.
wait, but clearly,
Greedo with Watto's voice. Would be good.
yeah. hey, clearly though, that just made that.
what you got doing?
Hey,
Oh, that's
hey,
great.
please just made that movie better.
That did actually.
Okay.
Anakin, your mother is so nice. I'm checking those the goods. Good night.
They could have just made that movie better. You're welcome. Because
Oh,
I feel
man.
that needs to be done now. Oh, I feel that needs to be done.
Like I say though, like my favorite of the new trilogy though is Episode 1 because it's a swashbuckling Jedi adventure. But also it is there are two different reasons why apparently Episode 1 is completely pointless.
Why?
Well, one, Topher Grace is editor of Star
Yeah.
Wars. For anyone who hasn't heard about this, Topher Grace took the new trilogy, edited it down to one movie that was shorter than any of those three movies, and by doing it, he eliminated everything from Episode 1 except the last lightsaber fight, because that's all pretty much anyone cares about. So, like, literally Episode 1 wasn't even important enough to include in a breakdown of the origin of the new trilogy. And then if you watch Star Wars in what's called the Machete Order,
Oh God.
yeah, the Machete Order is
I still haven't
actually-
watched it yet. I need to.
I need to as well. It's brilliant because it's Episode 4,
Wow.
Episode 5, Episode 2, Episode 3, Episode 6.
Yep.
Completely ignore Episode 1, because that way you get all, like, the surprises, the revelations, and it actually makes for better story arcs overall.
Okay.
And you just ignore Episode 1. And I read that the dude who created it showed it to someone who'd never seen Star
Yeah.
Wars before. They didn't even know that, like, Luke, like, Vader was Luke's father. Like, showed it to them, and like they guessed that there was another episode other than the fact the episode titles. She guessed that because there's like a few things that she didn't quite know, but she pieced together. But apparently, out of the questions she had, only one would have been answered by Episode 1, and it wasn't even an important question. It was just some random piece of curiosity. So
What's this pod rangers you keep talking about?
yeah. So this is Wizard.
Yeah.
This is pod racing.
This is pod racing.
I almost bought a pod racer arcade game. I regret to this day that I didn't. It was $500 because like nobody had bought it because it's so big, and I had $500 in my pocket cash, and I was like, "This is my rent and bill money." I was like, biggest mistake of my life. Like I could have been late on rent once. It'd have been okay.
Yeah.
What? Could turn off my power? That's fine. I get turned back on next month. I'm gonna pod race again to play. But no, I'm a responsible adult.
It's I love the pod racing. Essentially, it'd be like take two jet engines,
Oh yeah.
strap a chariot to the back of it, haul
Go.
ass.
Like, it's the worst idea ever.
No, we're in the South. It is the most redneckest
No, but check this
idea
out.
ever.
I remember this, like, shortly after that movie came out at Toys R Us, they had, like, a tube, tied to the back of a boat.
Yeah.
It looked like Anakin's, like, little pod
God.
things, and that would have been awesome as hell.
Oh,
to
that
be, like,
was-
tubing with that.
Here's my problem. Here's my problem. I think they could have made Episode 1 a lot better if they would have made Anakin older.
Yeah.
Not as old as Luke, but older like Luke,
Right.
because that would more mirror Episode 4. And instead of making him a pod racer, make him a swoop racer. Swoop racing had
Super
already,
Racing would,
It
yeah,
had
it would have made
already-
a lot more sense.
it would have already
Yeah.
long been established in canon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would have been really cool. It would have been kind of like the speeder bikes.
Yeah. It was
So-
a big, like,
Yeah.
thing.
It would have
back
made
then.
sense, and
more.
then had him like as a little slave boy or whatever, like being carted around as a really
Yeah.
great swoop bike racer, and he'd be already be older, so there would be like some struggle, like he's too old to train, and then Liam Neeson would be like, "Screw you, I do what I want,"
Yeah.
and then he would, and then like that would have made a far better film than having this like little kid who's just barely kind of maybe too old to
Yeah.
like, it doesn't work as well. Like I know, like you said, you want to hook the kids. Because like
No,
actually
they
that's
do.
why
why
Lucas
they did it.
made
Yeah.
Anakin a kid in that movie. He's like,
Yeah,
I have kids. I
exactly.
thought it'd be more fun if there was a kid. Like, no,
Yeah.
screw that. But like, Anakin as a teenager would have been better because you would have immediately seen why he could win at the dark
Yeah,
side. He
yeah.
had such a hard life to begin with.
No.
He was a slave.
No.
He was already an angsty teenager. So like, here, give this
Angst.
give the potential arsonist a lighter.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
yeah.
Not to mention, if you want to actually watch, like, the newest special edition, like, as far as the whole pod racing scene, the extended cut,
Yeah.
it's so damn
It's-
long.
yeah,
It was like
it's
15 minutes.
yeah.
I mean, it's really long.
It's all, it's
I find myself like whenever I am watching the wars,
Yeah.
the
the
wars.
wars.
The war
Like,
is what it is.
During that whole long ass scene, like I'll get up and I've had to get something to eat or use the bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
or check out the
Okay.
dog.
Don't even pause. You
Yeah.
just go, come back.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, I've got 2 minutes
Still
left.
going. Okay.
I got 2 minutes left. Make a sandwich.
Best part of the whole scene were the Tuscan Raiders and they're
Oh,
firing
yeah.
at them. And they're,
Well, I don't know. I like that like half a second where you see is it Aurora Singh or whatever?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
standing on a balcony.
Bounty Hunter chick.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
she's standing on a balcony there for no
Just a minute,
reason.
just
It was a
there.
good cameo.
Oh, that was a great
Yeah.
cameo.
Yeah.
Loved it. But like it was like 2 seconds. And like this
Yeah.
some poor woman had to like have like a bald cap and
Yep.
like hair put through and antennas
Yeah.
attached and white and like finger extensions. Like
Just for that one scene.
yeah, just for that one scene where 2 seconds she stands there. Like they could have literally gotten a mannequin and it would have done the same.
Another good part I could take out of the scene though, because I remember this from when the movie came out. As far as like sound guys and
Yeah.
stuff, like that whole movie, well, stars in general, but like they apparently a lot. That was like this is not coming right. The sound itself, like
The sound
using it in
engineering.
scene, yeah, the sound engineering was good for that particular scene.
Oh,
all
yeah.
the different stuff they used.
Oh yeah.
Well, the thing is, like you said though, in general, Star Wars is known more. I think besides the story, like the sound, the music,
Yeah.
just
Oh,
everything
yeah.
about that, the way it's created. You can hear it in video games. You can hear
Oh, yeah.
it on phones.
Different sounds.
You can
and
just
they-
hear it, but
Hey.
in a minute you go, "That's Star Wars."
I
Where's
want
that,
I want somebody to verify this for me. Maybe someone out there on the internet can verify it for me. I was watching Batman Begins, I think it was.
Yeah.
Watching the tumbler going around corners. Like, burp, 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 burp. To me, it sounds just like a pod racer. Like I literally think they lifted pod racing sounds like for
What
the
come first?
They could've.
What came first though?
like Star Wars.
Yeah.
Well before Batman Begins.
Did it?
Yeah.
I don't think.
Well before.
I don't
Yeah,
think.
Batman you mentioned about was it 04 or 5?
No.
Or 6?
506.
IMDb.
But
We really have another phone here, so
but no, like
fact check.
it is though. Like Star Wars came out
Yeah.
like well before.
Fucking
Like,
so.
but like I think it's the exact same sound. I want somebody to like verify if it's just similar or if it's the same. 'Cause I think it's
Yeah.
the same sound.
Yeah.
Which is so bizarre that they would lift that.
Why not?
Of course, then again, also
Everything's lifted.
I watched an episode of Tenchi Muyo though, where
Yeah, so
when they
like-
stole the proton
Yeah.
pack startup sound for like a lightning,
Yeah,
like
every
spaceship
sound.
lightning
Every
show.
sound.
Was it just the American dub? Or was it like in
I
general?
think it's the American dub, but I think they may have been using like the Japanese sound.
Nice.
Another thing I've been curious about, I mean, we can get off the topic of sounds after this, but as far as with Star Wars
Yeah.
in episode 2, during the whole chase
Oh,
scene
yeah.
with Django,
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
that the concussion.
Oh, yeah.
Because like I remember like they were really hush hush about what they used
Yeah.
as far as to make that noise. But if you
That was a
remember,
really cool
that was like
noise.
just weird,
Yeah.
like because it was like wow, wow.
Yeah.
It was almost like Inception,
Yeah.
like that stupid
Oh,
noise.
I hate
God.
that Inception. Whoa.
Could you imagine? Oh,
Yeah.
well, hey,
That's in everything.
just
now.
get ready. Hey, just get ready. Very first Star Wars trailer for the new one.
Yeah, it's gonna be nothing but Wong and lens flares.
Yeah, and then like Star Wars.
Oh,
Boom, Star Wars.
Oh, with that
lens
7
flare.
for the team.
Yeah. I mean,
I hope they all do.
You do
that.
know that there will be lens flares though.
oh
Oh,
god,
just-
yeah.
I'm hoping that it's minimal. I'm hoping somebody's like,
Yeah.
it's the Wars. Let's
There needs
turn
to be
the
a
lens
creative
flares
consultant on side, be like Abrams, just you get two,
down.
get two.
Get two.
No, it's gonna be that one scene.
It's gonna be
that-
all
it zooms
lightsaber
in.
fights.
It's like, oh, I can't.
Yeah, you're
why are
gonna
they
get that-
fighting.
you're
There's
gonna
so
get
much lens
You're
flare.
gonna get that zoom in of like the profile of like whoever,
Oh.
and also you're gonna get the lens flare in the background. And you're gonna get whoa, and then
All
it
at
cuts into
once.
the next.
But no, actually, I think they had lens flare in episode 3, didn't they? Like, I know, like near at the beginning.
Added a
Yeah,
lot.
towards the beginning.
Yeah, at the beginning of that fight, the
Above
Yeah.
Coruscant.
yeah, because
Yeah.
they talk about how they want it to seem like documentary style, where it's
Yeah.
like zooms and pans and racks,
Which
and, like,
I like
out of
that.
focus.
I thought it was
I
pretty cool.
like it. You know why I liked it better though? When I first saw it in Firefly,
Ah!
Joss Whedon was like, I wanted to have like a very like natural feel, so he made the CGI people put things out of focus and add zooms, which the CGI guys hated because they're like, what?
Oh, I want to check Joss Whedon on your mouth real quick.
Yeah,
Joss
that's a whole
Joss
nother.
Whedon,
That's gonna be a
Joss
whole
Whedon,
nother.
Joss Whedon.
That's
Joss
gonna be a whole nother
Whedon.
ball game. I can't wait for that podcast when we start talking TV shows.
I do enjoy some Firefly though.
Oh,
great,
yeah.
great series.
We're not
But no,
gonna
no, we're
touch
not
that
talking
one.
about that.
We're
I'm
not
just-
touching that one
I'm just-
because
I'm just mentioning. That's like me
Yeah.
mentioning how the Ghostbusters role playing system led the way to the Star Wars role playing system.
Anyway, Star Wars.
Yeah. So Star Wars.
I mean, that's what else is there to say? I mean, you can start going to like religion
Oh.
and all this kind
Oh
of
no,
stuff.
dude, what are you talking about? So much stuff.
But
Like Wait,
That's not stop.
this fella
Yeah.
here, he's told me his favorite movies are episode 4, which we discussed, and then he's also told me his favorite.
Five
He's
is-
like,
yeah,
I was about to
five
say
or
Empire.
four.
Yeah, you like Empire too.
I think Empire might. Well, I don't know because the original is the best, but
Like,
yeah,
a lot of people think Empire is the
Empire
best
is
one.
great.
Like I have an action figure of Ice Cream Maker guy from Empire because he's
Why
awesome.
not? Yeah.
Yeah, like I saw it in stores. Like I cannot turn this down. Was I think Wilrow Hood or something like Wildrow Hood, something to that effect. And he's like even the action figure's got an ice cream maker as an accessory. It's great.
I mean, it's been 30 minutes,
Yeah,
so you know, I think we should cut it, man.
Yeah.
This is a special episode.
that's about to say.
You know, we could talk, you know, for hours on this.
darn
but,
tootin' we could.
You know, special. We just a little extra. You're gonna be seeing another episode later, like probably Monday
Yeah.
after this one. So, which would be the 5th.
Yeah. So May the 4th be with you, and
Yeah.
beware Revenge of the 6th.
Right. So, keep it classy.